and I spoke along with my colleagues on NFL Network the other day about your quarterback room now with Kenny Pickett in it. So let's get to Kenny Pickett and what you liked about him and why you chose him 20th overall in the draft, Coach.
First of all, he had a couple elements of his game that were really attractive when you're talking about the quarterback position. His ability to anticipate and his professional level accuracy. Oftentimes the college guys have a ways to go in those areas. And when we talk about someone having a high floor at the quarterback position, usually it's because they're pro ready in those areas. And he was. We also had the proximity angle, and we just had a bird's eye view of his growth and development, not only as a player, but as a person, as a leader. And he does the things that comes with the quarterback position in a very natural way, whether it's dealing with and leading teammates, whether it's media responsibilities and so forth. None of that appears to be a chore for him. It happens in a very natural way, and I think that's an asset to him.
So the first time you ever saw him would be when you would stroll into Pat Narduzzi's office, practice across the way there in Pittsburgh? Is that the first time?
Yeah, we run across those guys quite a bit in passing, in particular, just being neighborly. Over time, you learn who the quarterback is and so forth, and so you can say, hey, good luck this week and things of that nature. And so he and I had an opportunity really over the course of 3 or 4 years to establish a real friendly, informal relationship and kind of get to know each other, without the speed dating component of the draft process.
Now, as you know, we in the media and certainly the talent evaluation community, we can get stuck on the details and the nitty-gritty and things that may or may not be of importance. What was your take on the whole idea that his hands are too small to perform in the NFL, Coach?
I potentially was capable of buying into that if I didn't watch him play college football in Pittsburgh and deal with the elements that comes with playing in this environment. And so, you can get into the hand size thing, or you can just look at how he performed in a variety of conditions, and we have those conditions here in Pittsburgh. And so there's very little speculation from our perspective about how he might handle the ball in a inclement weather, wet days, etc. They played North Carolina here on a Thursday night. I actually went to the game, and it was raining pretty good that night. Had no issues, and so it was probably less of an issue for us as it was just in terms of some of the draft chatter.
So now he hits a quarterback room with Mason Rudolph and Mitchell Trubisky. And how do you expect the competition to go? What do you expect?
I expect it to be fierce because I know all three guys. I don't expect anyone to take a back seat. The challenge is from a structure standpoint, man, are we providing enough of a platform for all the guys to show what they're capable of? And so that's going to be the challenge component of it. I'm excited about watching these guys compete, man, just like I am at any position where you got some viable options. And so, we'll proceed with that understanding that, it's going to be challenging from an organization standpoint, but it's a good challenge, and I'm excited about watching those guys perform.
And then in terms of a level of expectation as you as a head coach, there's a large conversation going on in the NFL media over the last 24 hours that Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee, again, I know that's not your house, when talking about Malik Willis, saying it's not his job to mentor Malik Willis. And then, of course, you have your own experience with Roethlisberger back in the day when you drafted Mason Rudolph, saying that if he asks me a question, I might just have to point to the playbook. What is your level of expectation for Trubisky and Rudolph with Pickett in the room to get him up to speed?
It's good when it occurs, but it's certainly not necessary. That's why we have offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches, assistant quarterback coaches. People are employed, and their sole focus is the development of players. Certainly there's growth and development opportunities and learning opportunities among players, but it is definitely not their function. Their function is to have themselves ready to go and be good teammates. And I think, that's probably what you speak to just in terms of providing common human decency and courtesy to someone. If you can If you can help them along the way, I'm sure Ryan is open to that. But I think he was just stating the obvious that he's not employed to do that. He's employed to play quarterback.
Mike Tomlin here on the Rich Eisen Show. George Pickens, a second-round selection for you. And, Kevin Colbert, who is now leaving his position but still, going to be around. You and he and the rest of the staff together have just had a remarkable run finding receivers that work for you in whatever system that you are running. How does Pickens potentially fit into what you've been able to spot at that position over the last 15 some odd years, Coach?
First we acknowledge that they come in all shapes and sizes, and they do. At that position probably more than any other. And then you're looking for distinguishing traits, and he has that. He's a big guy, 6'3" plus, with little guy body control. His ability to change direction, his ability to stop and start, his ability to drop his weight is like that of a much smaller man. And so that was the trait that really attracted us to him. He's a competitor. He's got easy hand-eye and ball skills, and obviously that's a major component of the position as well.
So when it all comes down to it, how open are you to a quarterback and wide receiver, two rookies starting together at such an important connective point?
I'm open. I've learned to be. When you got red paint, man, you paint your barn red, man. If those guys are deserving, then we'll play them. We played, I think, 4 rookies on offense last year because they were deserving.
So you think Pickett has a shot to start at the position this fall, you would say?
Everyone. I don't want to overstate it, Rich,
yes.
But certainly he's not going to be excluded from the opportunity.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.